Hey, good morning, Jerrod. A demo video for you for your SP Sabers high ground. Finished this up yesterday and then just wrapped up the fonts that you sent me this morning before this demo. So this is installed with a Proffie. It's got the SP Sabers crystal chamber that I'll show you. It is a 2-button setup. So your front switch here, that's your power, and your back switch on your control box is your auxiliary. When you had sent this, I didn't think that it had a card in it. I ended up finding it in the crease of the box. I think it just came loose. But you had ordered a card from Sloth Furnace to replace it. I'll make sure that goes back in your box. So that did arrive. I'll put it back in your box so you have it. All right. How to get to your chassis is you want to unscrew the pommel, but you want to watch out for this because it has a reverse thread. All right. So this is going to be lefty-tighty, righty-loosey on this guy. So we'll turn it to the right to take the pommel off. I took the pommel, I put a clear spacer in between the actual pommel and the end cap here. So you have a little gap. That's for sound venting. All right, so it's nice and tight on there, but it sounds good. You'll see your chassis here, but before you take it out, you want to do two things. You want to come over here to this greebly and loosen it up. And then you want to take your Covertech and loosen it up just a hair. I glued the screw and the Covertech together so that you could just unscrew it like this and you didn't need a tool to get to your screw. All right, so loosen it up just a hair, come over here and pull your chassis straight out. Just like that. And this is what you've got. You asked for some blue PLA on this one, so that's what I did for you. I ordered this spool specifically for your needs. You have been a very good repeat customer for me, so I wanted to make sure that you got everything that you asked for there. So blue PLA Plus is what I used on this guy. This chassis is from White Cloud Sabers. Ollie over there was gracious enough to send me his STL for this crystal chamber piece, and this is what I use anytime I do the chamber. All right, so you have a removable battery setup. No spring, but you have a leaf spring for your negative. So the negative side of your battery always goes over here by your speaker. You have a fully enclosed 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. You do have a spacer in there too, that it's a press fit in there so it doesn't come out. It just keeps the speaker off that center screw. Your Proffie board is just a press fit down into here. So if you ever need to take that out to get to your SD card, you can just pop it up. You know, pops up just like that and then snap it back down into place. You can see your two switches and then of course your crystal chamber. So what I did here is I put 2 quartz crystals in here, one here and one here. This one up top is wired in line with your blade. So it's wired directly to this Carl Chen PCB that you've got. This one down below here is wired independently. So it does separate things from the blade. All right. This is a very cool crystal chamber, but there is very limited room. So that is how I get away with trying to make these look different. All right. And of course, this makes contact with a blade side PCB in there. You can barely see, that never comes out. And you have a second set of Carl Chen PCBs right here. All right. Let's throw a battery in here. I'll cycle through the fonts. There's 6 fonts that you sent me. You did have an issue with the bundle rematch or the rematch bundle. So I just went ahead and I bought that for my buddy Jesse. Anyway, I've been meaning to do that this morning, and then I replaced some of the files and everything's good to go now. But we'll take our battery and throw it in.
Surely we can be civilized about this.
I got these in the order that you wanted. So as you can see, the bottom one is pulsing. It is on a timer though. So if you don't turn the saber on right away, it'll turn off so it doesn't kill your battery.
General Kenobi, I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku. Darth Vader.
You see how this one matches the blade.
It's just Ben these days.
The Darth Vader portion of the rematch bundle.
Where is he?
just like that. All right, so when putting this in, eventually this greebly is going to be your chassis retention. All right, and it sticks into the Saber quite a bit, but there is a place that Ollie put on the chassis for that. You can see this groove right here. That is for that piece right there. So what you want to do when you put this in, you want to line up your switches with your switch box as you're pushing it in. Just do it carefully. You'll get to a certain point about right here, and it's going to feel like it doesn't want to go in anymore. But go ahead and gently push it in, and it will go. It's just a little tight. All right, and if you want to give yourself a sanity check before you lock everything down, you can come over here and hit power. That's how you know everything is lined up. So once you do that, you can come over here and tighten this guy down. You can come back over here and tighten your Covertech down. And then we can come over here and we can put our pummel on. Now remember, your pummel is reversed, so it would be turning it to the left to tighten it up. All right. But this guy right here is what locks your chassis down and keeps it in place. All right, so we'll put this on, lock it down. Again, come over here and hit power, which is the front. So all your LEDs in there are firing up. Auxiliary back here, right?
Hello there.
And you have twist off as well. So when we want to put a blade in, what you want to do is come over here and just take the ring off. The very top ring. All right, so we'll take this guy off. This is normal threading, so nothing to pay attention. I'm going to use my test blade, but this is set up for a full-length blade. So take that ring that you've got, just throw it over your blade like that. Come over here and push it down. You have 2 blade retention screws, and you're going to want to use them both. All right, for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to use the one, because I'm not going to be swinging this around very tough, but you'll want to use both. So once you tighten those both up, they're 180 degrees from each other, we can drop this ring down and screw it back onto the emitter. All right, pretty easy to do. Just like that, and then come over here and hit power. All of your sound fonts have a soundtrack, so it's just a long press on the power. Another long press to turn it off. Just like that.
General Kenobi! I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku.
This is the green one.
Darth Vader.
It's just Ben these days.
Where is he?
On to the last one, I believe. Of course, blade lockup is holding down the aux and hitting the saber. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and disassemble this back down. A copy of the config file that I use is, as always, on your SD card. So if you want to make any changes or at least see what I did there, it's right there for you. Okay. Bring this back up, loosen our blade retention screw. Pop this off and then slide it out. It's pretty easy to do. The neck piece, all this, so this attachment right here and the threading here is just hand tightened, but I did tighten it as hard as I could without breaking it. So you just want to be mindful of that when unscrewing this ring. It's the only thing that you want to take off, and you don't want to tighten this down very tough, because if you do, the next time you try to unscrew it, you might unscrew these connections here. So just kind of be easy with this guy. We'll come over here and take our pummel off again. By the time I take this chassis out, you'll see the crystal chamber has timed out. All right, we'll loosen up our covert tech. We'll loosen this guy up a little bit, pull it straight out, just like that. And then, yeah, crystal chamber timed out. Just like that. You can come over here from the positive side of your battery by your crystal chamber. You don't really need a tool. You can just come over here with your fingers and pop it out. Just like that. And that is basically your high ground. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to try very hard to get this out in the mail to you today. All right. Thanks.